Bears fans, we got news. Welcome to Chicago Sports Podcast. We're going to talk about some news that we have. If you see me on here this early, you know it's some big news that's on the board. Some good, some not so good. We're going to talk about it next on the Chicago Sports Podcast.
Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Good people, welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm your host, D Nice. Like I said, I got news. We got big news and we got some not so good news. I'm gonna start off with the big news, but before I start, I want to greet you guys. How you guys doing? I hope everyone is well. It's kind of early in the evening for me. Well, for you all to see me, but glad to be seen. And for you guys coming on in here to check me out. Give you time to follow up in here before, I spill the beans on what's been happening today. Um Very, very big day for the organization and for one guy in the organization in particular at a very important position. Everybody's guy, Tyson Bagent, has received the bag. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Tyson Bagent got paid today to the tune of a 2-year, $10 million extension. Good for him. He's had a heck of a training camp. Tyson Bagent's 25 years old, 6'3", 212 pounds, undrafted out of Shepherd College. He was born in Martinsville, West Virginia. Not quite sure where that is, but good for him. He made it out, and he's gotten a 2-year extension with the Chicago Bears, a place where a lot of people, players, outside media, and fans of other teams always said that Chicago was a place that QBs go to die. And what do you know? We have two playing together on the same team in the same year. Who would have thunk it? Let's dive a little bit deeper into Tyson Bagent. He was entering his final year of his rookie season, and the Bears decided to extend him. Really had some glowing Ben Johnson, Case Keenum, just the quarterback room in general, offensive coordinator and everyone. They had glaring things to say about Tyson Bagent. His dedication and ability to operate in this new offense that we has left a very strong impression on the coaching staff. And not only on the coaching staff, on fans. It was some fans a little higher on him than they should be, saying that he can take the spot from Caleb, but this, that, and the third. But I'm not going to participate in that type of nonsense. Shout out to you, Bishop. I see you, homie. I'm not going to really go there with y'all today. But if you feel that way, feel free to let me know in the chat. But I'm not going to go there with y'all. Johnson and Case Keenum has given him an extreme vote of confidence, saying that he's, pretty much the smartest guy in the room. When it comes down to this playbook, they try to stump him and they just can't do it. He comes in early, he leaves late, he does everything a dedicated professional should do. And his quotes in particular, it says it means the world to him. And shout out to him for wanting to be in Chicago, especially, with the words and the reputation that the Bears have about quarterbacks. This is a guy that wanted to be here. He's been here through some good. Well, he's been here through some bad and some ugly. Now we're walking into the good. Let's all hope, starting this season, he can be here for the good as well. And with this 2-year, $10 million extension, it shows that when we have good times, he'll be around at least for 2 years of it. Um, he's a very hard worker. And he said, the harder he works, the luckier he gets. And I can't be mad at that quote either. Bagent does have aspirations of being a starting QB. And I, we've all seen him get better year after year. And based off the landscape of quarterbacks in the league right now, Joe Flacco is starting at 40 plus years old for the Browns. You got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston battling it out with a rookie. Russ is going to be the starting QB with the Giants. You got old man Rogers in Pittsburgh. So if you want to ask me, can Bajan be a starting QB in this league? I would say absolutely, just based off the landscape. All it takes is an injury or a team desperate and thirsty for a nice young quarterback, and Bajan's name could be called. I'm not interested in trading him. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, he could be traded for a middle round pick." Hey, man, listen. We got we have something special going on here. We have two quarterbacks on the team that one is good, one is very good, and one is good, serviceable, good, solid, or whatever. And I say that about Tyson Bagent. Um, another thing I say, everyone loves the backup until he has to get in there and perform and doesn't do well. But right now, Tyson Bagent is a fan favorite. He's growing to be a favorite of mine as far as a player is concerned. Um, we'll see how long we can keep him. Because if the Bears do well, the better the Bears do, the more jobs going to open up for young guys like Declan Doyle, um, some of the other young coordinators that we have on the team, and usually when these coordinators go to a different team to become head coach, they take pieces of their former team with them. As you can see, Ben Johnson did that when he came from Detroit. So, if Declan Doyle, Randall L, or any of the young coaches that could be called on to move up with another team and decide that they want a guy like Tyson Bagent with them, there could be a move made to take Tyson Bagent elsewhere. But for now, we're going to bask in the glory of having two good quarterbacks on our team that can handle business if one falls down. That's a great thing. That's something that this organization hasn't had, and I don't know, it could be forever, but it's been a very long time. I guess you can say the most recent was Josh McCown and Jay Cutler, that situation, and we all seen how that went. That was just a spark. It didn't even get a chance to really catch a lot of fire because Josh was only here for a short time. But you know, I'm not thinking about trading him. And absolutely, Bishop Tyson is a solid backup, and I think every team needs a solid backup, regardless of who their starter is. The way this league goes, one hit, one misstep, anything can happen. That starter goes down. For most teams, it's over with. But if you have a capable backup, someone that can, you know, grab the steering wheel and guide the offense, not mess the game up, not throw the game away. If you have a guy that's not going to throw the game away, that can keep you in it and the defense plays well, you can get through a season. Hell, how do you think Tom Brady ended up to become the GOAT? Drew Bledsoe, which was, a first round number one pick in his time. Drew Bledsoe ended up getting hurt, and Tom Brady had to come in and do his thing. 20, 30 some odd years later, Tom Brady's looked at as the best to ever do it. So, these things happen. We cannot sit up here and act like, oh, we can use Beijing for trade bait. No, we're not there yet, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to inform you. I even hate to even think of it that way, but we're just not there yet as an organization or as a team. So good for Tyson Bagent. I hope all the Bears land is happy for him. Um, this is a great this is a great vote of confidence for him to start the season. It getting a treat like this, getting extended like this at this particular time, especially, it brings out more confidence in a man and in a player to show that the organization that you're working so hard for really appreciates your service and really wants you as much as you want to be here. So that's a great thing. I'm ecstatic for the guy, and keep doing your thing, Beijing. We all watching and we all pulling for you. Congrats on the bag. So next up, the Bears signed a running back today. Wasn't a running back that I had on my mind, but we'll talk about that shortly. The Bears signed Royce Freeman today. Royce Freeman, 238 pounds, 6 feet, out of Oregon. Was selected by the Denver Broncos in 2018, third round. He spent 3 years in Denver. Spent 1 year in Carolina, 2 years in Houston, and 1 year with the Rams. Uh, Freeman was signed because we just put Deion Hankins on IR. Unfortunately, another guy that put in a lot of work this training camp. Was trying to make a roster. Also undrafted. He went down and he's now on IR. So we signed Royce. Royce has a career of 1,792 yards, 10 touchdowns for a career average of 3.8 yards a touch, with his best seeing being his rookie season with the Broncos. He averaged 4 yards a carry. He had 5 touchdowns with 521 yards. I think this situation is just for us to kind of get through training camp and get through this last game. I think Royce Freeman, and I mean this with all respect, at 29 years old, I think he's a camp body unless he comes in and does the incredible and make this 53-man roster. Then he's just a body. I think the Bears are just trying to get through Kansas City this Friday, and he was signed and brought in. Now, I also mentioned a running back that I would like to see the Bears, get if cut and put on waivers, and that's my man out of Washington, man. Listen, the young boy is only 25 years old. He can do a lot of damage. He's big, I think he's 6'1", 230 pounds. Brian Robinson out of University of Alabama. 6'1", 230 pounds. He's always around that 800-yard mark. Um, Powerful. He looks like a Bears running back. To me, he looks like a Bears running back. Big, strong, fast. Can get the dirty work, while a guy like Swift can be the lightning to his thunder. I would like to see the Bears get him if he becomes free. Now, we don't want we all understand that the Bears drafted a quarterback in the 7th round with Monangai. Much respect to him. I can't wait to really see him consistently on the field. That's a guy that I like. When I watched his tape coming out of Rutgers, I enjoyed what I seen. I even liked him the way he carried the ball in the preseason so far. He's a little banged up, and I don't really foresee him playing versus Kansas City, but I think he should be ready by week 1. Now, we haven't seen Swift all year, but we know what Swift is. Swift is Swift. Brian Robinson Jr. is a guy I think can come in and make an immediate impact if signed. We can get him for a good number. Wouldn't be an expensive signing. He has history with Eric Bieniemy, who coached him as a rookie. This could be a big thing for us. I don't necessarily know how they're thinking up there, but I know for sure, unless Royce Freeman comes into Hallis Hall and blows the doors off, he won't be here long. So there's mention of some suitors trying to trade for him. The way the NFL treats running backs, I'll be very surprised that if Washington gets the compensation that they're looking for a guy like Robinson. Um, I think overall they may end up cutting him, and he'll be placed on waivers, and hopefully, the Bears jump in and swoop him up. It just makes too much sense to me. Now I know we have other issues as far as left tackle and the pass rusher or whatever, and the way the secondary is thinning out. We'll talk about that a little later. The secondary is kind of thinning out, but at this point, I'm done talking about the left tackle. I've said what I said, and for you all who haven't heard what I said, I believe our left tackle is playing on Saturdays right now. He's getting a good old college education, and we'll be able to see about him once the season ends. And I'm sure the Bears are doing their due diligence on this situation, and they're probably sending scouts out to watch a couple of his games wherever he's playing at. But that's for another show. But I do think our left tackle of the future is playing on Saturdays right now. Braxton Jones is who he is. I, you know, I'm rooting for Braxton Jones. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That way he can build some consistencies, but I don't think you're going to get much better than what we've all seen from him. Coaching matters, and they can fix a few things, but at the end of the day, he's going to be serviceable at best. And that's what we can ask for. It's up to Ben Johnson, it's up to Caleb, whoever quarterback in his team, and whoever calling plays to make Braxton Jones look better than he is. I know we drafted Ozzie Trapillo, but Trapillo is a right tackle that they tried to make a left tackle. He cannot. He couldn't beat out Braxton, and Braxton ain't even 100% yet. But he couldn't beat him out for the job, so they sent him back over to the right, and that lets me know that we don't have our left tackle of the future just yet. So as this season goes on, whatever happens from coming from that left side is what it is. You will not get a complaint out of me because we already know the deal. Let's not act surprised, people. Let's keep it. Let's keep it a buck. We already know the deal of what's happening with that left side over there with Braxton Jones over there. Can't keep beating a dead horse. Now, we can go back and say what they should have did, what they could have did, but they didn't do it. So this is what we had to live with. So I don't think trading, giving up substantial capital for anybody is smart. And I don't believe in being foolish and giving up a high pick for a running back that someone wants to cut. I don't want to give up future first, regardless if we're gonna be picking from 20 and up to get a 31-year-old pass rusher that ain't touched the grass since last season. And that's Trey Hendrickson. I don't want to do that. Now, if they're gonna be reasonable, if they want a player, and a one pick, that could be worked out. But just giving up this future crap capital and all that stuff right now, I don't think it's really necessary. Yeah, it's uncertainty, but we paid a guy Montez Sweat to do a job. If he can do his job, I think everything else will take care of itself. The rush is gonna be the rush, and based off of our defensive coordinator, I have no doubts that we will be able to get to the quarterback. You know, I think this defense is young and hungry, and has a point to prove, and I think our D coordinator has the same chip on his shoulder. He feels like he has a point to prove, and he's going to prove it. I believe in that. Michael Parsons, we know how they do in Dallas. That's a soap opera within itself, and that's something that's going to have to work itself out. Now, if there's a possibility that Ryan Poles can commit, what I'm saying, another highway robbery, then hey, I'm with it. But just giving up future draft capital. I mean, substantial future draft capital because he's not going to go for a first and a second. They're not going to give it up like that. It's going to be probably about three firsts, and a third and all that. That's a bit much for me. Even though Michael Parsons is a young guy, he seems like he has everything, what I'm saying, in front of him at this time. He had a few injuries maybe last year or the year before last, but you can't beat the production. And I would love to have any one of those guys on the team, but the price has to be right. Um, Bishop asked my thoughts on Theo Benedict. Well, Theo Benedict, he's a guy that works hard, undrafted, Canadian guy, puts in the work, looks pretty good on tape. I'm not gonna lie to you. He just needs more reps to throw him, and say he's gonna be our starter week one. I don't know. I'm gonna take a real good look at him when we play Kansas City. But from what I've seen, he looks decent. He also looks raw. He looks like he ain't had enough action in there for him to be anointed as a starter week one. And that matters. That matters. And do we feel like he should be able to cut his teeth week one versus Minnesota? I wouldn't do that to him. We seen all the disdain that the past regime got when they put Karan Amagaji against that aggressive defense. Where Bliss was coming from everywhere. He couldn't do nothing about it. So I wouldn't really put him out there. We can start. We gonna run this thing with Braxton Jones. I'm already committed to it. If it changes, I'll be very surprised. But in my mind, I'm stuck with the fact that we got Braxton Jones as a left tackle, and I ain't got no choice but to be cool with it. So you can mark my words, you will hear nothing from me regarding Braxton Jones as a left tackle unless he makes us talk about him, meaning he gets hurt or he just finds his way and play and start playing, at a miraculous all pro level. But as the season goes on, I'm gonna let Braxton be who he is, and I'm not gonna complain because I already know who he is. So we touched on Bagent getting the bag. We touched on the acquisition of Royce Freeman. Next, let's get to the ugly, man. Let's get to the bad here. And I say this with a heavy heart. My man Terrell Smith, cornerback, number 32, Smitty is what we like to call him, is out for the year. The 26-year-old cornerback was carted off the field after sustaining a non-contract injury versus the Buffalo Bills Sunday night. We all seen that injury, and most of us that know kind of expected the worst on this front. And this is terrible news for the secondary, because he was looked at as a viable piece, especially with Jalen Johnson being on the mend and trying to get back and get prepared to be with us on week one versus Minnesota. We seen Jalen doing a little workout pre-game. Looks good, looks strong. But, he hadn't been on the grass all year long with no live action. So, you know, we're gonna see how that works out, and we're praying for a week one showing by Jalen Johnson, our number one corner. Um Cornerback position was we were all pretty confident about that room, about that position when it comes down to the team. We thought that was our strongest unit, but these injuries is knocking us back. And we got some young back guys in the building, and we also have some guys that came in from free agency that's dying to prove that they belong and they can play in this defense. So it's going to be next man up. I know that sounds cliche, but it is what it is, and that's where we at. Smitty's been coveted by this Bears regime since drafted in 2023. Fifth round pick out of Minnesota. You know, like I said with a heavy heart. He was one of my favorite guys because he always shows up. What's up, Crooked? What's up, Crooked Commission? How you feeling, sir? He shows up on tape. And he finds a way to make plays just out of nowhere. But, tough injury. And hey, listen, the team must go on. We have you in our hearts, T. Smith. And get well soon, sir. We're rooting for you. So that's pretty much it, on this situation. That's the news I have for you guys. I appreciate guys for coming in and commenting. Crooked Commission, shout out to you, shout out to Bishop. Shout out to you guys that's watching wherever you're watching from. And I thank you so much for rocking with me this afternoon. We'll be back with you with more news later on. Thanks for watching the Chicago Sports Podcast. Peace and love, and we out.